Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, Don Flint here. I'm out Uber driving today, and I'm at my normal haunt here at Kohl's parking lot. And I think I can show you that. So, there's the sign for Kohl's, and pretty empty around here today. And ready to read some more letters. I won't take this off though, because it's hard to talk with that there. There. I hope you can hear me all right. And this is, by the way, June 11th, 2020. And my letters are starting in 14th of October, 1966. And this is more of my military career through letters that I wrote home. So this is drafted Chapter 3, Episode 9. This letter is to my dad, 14th of October. Dear Dad, thanks for the interesting tape on Hurricane Inez. I will return it as soon as I listen to it a few times. Please record Keys Radio if you record any more for me. I know you don't like that kind of music, but I don't like the kind of music put out by KRYS. I would appreciate it, really. Maybe you can leave it on and go into the other room or something if you can't stand it. One idea for Christmas present, I would like some 4-track stereo pre-recorded tapes and rock and roll type, and if possible, not duplications of my old records. Something like this would be something I can use over here as well as at home. How would you like to drive to San Francisco next April and meet me, and then drive down the coast and then back home? You have never been to California, and it would make a nice vacation for you and Mom and me too. Also, I could get 10 days or more travel time that wouldn't count against my leave time. You might not like this idea, but it was just a thought. Let me know what you think of this idea in your next letter. Next month, I put in my preference sheet for my next duty station. I haven't decided what to put yet, but it is a draw between Texas and California. I'll write again soon. Dottie. That was an interesting one. And then on 28th of October, 1966, this is to Mom and Dad. I'm sure you have heard by now that LBJ came to Cam Bay. He was here between 4 and sometime after dark. I didn't see him or even know he was anywhere around until about 6 o'clock, when some of the guys came back and told us they had seen him. I guess that sort of proves the safety of Cameron. We haven't done too much lately. Just sit around the office and occasionally go out for a little while, right around the area. Yesterday, Chaplain Henderson went to Phan Rang for the day. I didn't do a thing all day. I sat in an easy chair and relaxed for a change. There's really nothing going on, and I'm rather bored. I'm anxiously awaiting your next goodie package and some tapes. Your last tape you sent, Inez, took only 4 days to get here, even though it was only first class. I will send that one back to you soon so you can send more music to me. I realize it takes a long time to fill up 3,600 feet of tape, but I'm sure you have sent it to me by now as soon as payday gets here. I'm going to buy some more tape and send it home for you to use. Enclosed are some slides of myself in my new area, my bunk. Soon we'll be moving up the hill to our new house with a metal roof. It will be a better area for us, and we'll take pictures of it for you to see. I was slightly sunburned that day, so I look a little pink. I used my new Nichromat with the electronic flash and wide-angle lens. I hope you like them. I have also included a telephoto shot looking north towards group headquarters, showing the Cameron Village and the sand hills behind group. at low tide. I need some Dine Shine liquid shoe polish ASAP, and paste wax too. My hair is cut short now. Guess that's the end of that letter. I was getting sloppy in my letter writing, it seems like. Wow. I don't have a date on this one, but it's sometime after that last one. Dear, it's actually interesting because it's I did this on stationery I got at the hotel in Tokyo, and a couple of letters were done that way. It says Hotel New Japan. It's at number 29.2 Chrome, Nagata-cho, Chiyoda-ku, Tokyo, Japan. But no date. I'm now back at Cameron Bay after a tremendous trip to Tokyo. I enjoyed talking to you on the phone, even though such a short time. On a separate sheet, I'm going to write an account of the trip that I would like you to copy and send to all who are interested. While in Tokyo, I bought a model 1710 Akai 4-track stereo recorder with 3 speeds. If you made any more tapes from Hi-Fi Records, please record them at 7.5 inches per second so the tapes will be better. If you send any more radio tapes, 3 3/4 inches per second will suffice. It will also take 7-inch reels. Enclosed is a sheet on it. I have also enclosed several brochures and postcards, etc. from around Tokyo thought you would like. Please send me some copies of the copies of my letter so I can send them out to my friends. I got your 35 wide-angle lens, 35 millimeter wide-angle lens, but the 200 millimeter was hard to find and I couldn't get one. But the 35 and the flash will be in the mail soon. Also is $20 on the money I owe you. One lens, $60 plus flash, $15, $75. So I owe you $375. I will have some more in the mail in a week or so. Love, Donnie. That was interesting. So, then I have this long letter here. It's 5 pages, typed, and double-spaced. So I spent some time on this one. It's on that same stationery from the hotel. This is my account of the trip. All American GIs in Vietnam are offered a 7-day out-of-country rest and relaxation period in one of several Asian cities. The main places offered are Hong Kong, Bangkok, Manila, Taipei, Singapore, and Tokyo. All of these cities offer plenty of excitement and things to see. But since Tokyo has so many military exchanges abundant in Japanese goods, I decided to go there. One of the draftsmen in our engineer section named Ralph Vacula, who is from Wayne, New Jersey, and myself signed up to go to Tokyo at the same time, for we realized that when you're in a strange city, 2 heads are better than 1. We left Cameron Bay after having packed small suitcases and proceeded to the nearest Air Force base to try to get a flight up to the city of Nha Trang, where our flight was originated from. Due to the fact that there were no flights to Nha Trang that morning, we ended up hitchhiking along RVN Route number 1 to Nha Trang. 3 rides later, we arrived at the R&R processing center, where we parked our bags on empty bunks, and since we weren't due to leave until the next day, we toured Nha Trang in a cyclo and ate a good meal at the Nautic restaurant. I have to confess that I have no memory of hitchhiking to Nha Trang through Viet Cong territory, nor touring Nha Trang in a cyclo. Don't remember. That's amazing to me. But it's here in writing, so I know what happened. On Wednesday, the 21st of September, We finished our processing only to find out that the plane that we were to catch had not left Tokyo yet. It would take 11 hours to reach Nha Trang. We waited all day Wednesday and finally got off at about 2300 hours. We arrived at Yokota Air Force Base about 1100 hours on the 22nd. The first thing we noticed about Japan was that traffic travels on the left side of the road. That was a real experience, to drive on the left for the first time. I was immediately impressed with the cleanliness of the city and how modern everything seemed. We then proceeded from Yokota to Camp Zama, where we converted our money to MPC and then to yen. We were also briefed as to what we could expect to find in Tokyo as far as bars and clubs are concerned. We were also told that the time we lost waiting for the plane would not be made up and that we were just out of luck. Thank you very much. This left us with only 3.5 days for R&R out of the 5 days we're supposed to get. The Army has set up pretty good for R&R in Japan. They have special arrangements with the hotels to save enough rooms in each hotel for the group, and we paid for the hotel before we left Zama. Thursday, the 22nd, was very dark and dreary, and by the time we reached the hotel, New Japan, it had started to rain and was night. The first thing Ralph and I did was to get out of our clothes and take a nice hot bath and wash the Vietnam off of us. Ralph and I had separate rooms, which were very modern and comfortable. After our late supper in the main dining room, we retired to our rooms for much needed rest. Friday the 23rd, I woke at about 800 hours and got dressed for breakfast. The elegance of the way the Japanese serve their meals is unbeatable, and the food was excellent. After breakfast, Ralph and I got out our maps and Tokyo guidebooks and started off walking toward the Ginza. The area of Tokyo we are in is very modern, and the location of most of the large offices such as Xerox, NCR, Nortaki China, and IBM. While walking along, we noticed that there wasn't much traffic and all the stores were closed. It turned out to be some national holiday, and all the business offices were closed for the weekend. The stores were open in the Ginza district, though. While still traveling toward the Ginza district, we made a wrong turn and ended up at the moat of the Imperial Palace. It was a beautiful spot with a view of the National Diet, which is like our nation's capital. After ascertaining where we were, we proceeded on to the Ginza. The Ginza is the major shopping area of Tokyo and is the location of several large department stores and many manufacturing showrooms. We visited Matsuya department store in the Sony building. The Matsuya was like any large department store in any large city, being very modern and having many floors full of goods. In the Sony building, I was interviewed by a real pretty girl while being televised and put on recorded tape, and got to see how I looked immediately when she played it back for me. That Sony videotape unit worked perfect, and in Japan they only cost about $500. Everything that Sony sells was displayed in the building. After shopping all over the Ginza district, comparing prices of things we were planning to buy to what we had projected the cost to be, we walked back to the hotel for a delicious dinner. Saturday, we were up by 0900 hours and off to Shimbashi Station for the train ride to Tachikawa Air Force Base and the PX. It was raining when we got out there, and the typhoon was soon to hit, but we didn't even know that one was due. This was the place where I bought my tape recorder and camera. The recorder I bought is a 4-track stereo model made by Akai Electric, and is same as the Roberts unit, which sells for $230 in the States. The camera I bought is a Nichromat FT single lens reflex with behind the lens metering. Accessories I bought for it include a 200mm lens, a 35mm lens, a tripod, camera case, and a gadget bag, and some filters. Also, while there, I got myself a suitcase to carry all the stuff in. It took us all day to do all the shopping we did at Tachikawa, and we took the train back to Tokyo and had another fine meal in our hotel. After supper, I stayed in my room and worked up a list of things I had to buy the next day at another PX. Sunday morning, we found out that Typhoon Ida had torn up Tachikawa pretty bad, and we hadn't even realized it had hit during the night. So we looked out the window, and sure enough, it was blowing a gale outside, but it was warm and dry. Ralph and I went walking up the street while waiting for the bank to open so we could get some yen for the day, and it was during this walk that we saw our first storm damage in the form of broken windows and signs with glass raining into the streets in many places. After converting our MPC into yen, we went to the USO in the Ginza to find out which PXs were open where we could finish shopping. We ended up going to Yokohama to the Navy Exchange, which turned out to be the best military exchange we were in while in Japan. I got everything else I wanted except for Dad's and mine wide-angle lenses, which I bought on the open market the next day. We spent that evening packing all the things which we had bought for taking back to Vietnam with us. Ralph shipped his recorder to him, but I wanted to take mine with me. I was a little overweight on the flight back, but I made it okay. The last day, Monday, was consumed in last-minute packing and spending our extra yen, as well as checking out of the hotel and traveling back to Camp Zama to process out. As you can see, we didn't get any sightseeing done at all due to the day we lost at first, but there are many interesting things to see in Japan, and I only wish we had more time to see all the things we had in mind when we went. I intend to return someday and get to know this country a little better and seek its culture. The Japanese are very polite and take pride in cleanliness and appearance, and it really shows in the city of Tokyo, as it is one of the cleanest cities I've ever seen. I very highly recommend Tokyo in Japan for a place to stop for anyone who is touring the world or even for a special trip. I am sure you wouldn't be disappointed. Interesting. That was my letter we sent out to all my friends and everybody who was interested in seeing it. And now you've heard it too. And kind of fun. Well, that's all I have for this episode. This is episode 9 of chapter 3. Still in Cam Bay on R&R and heading back to Cam Bay. And it was nice to be in civilization for a little while. And because you kind of forget what it's like when you're in a primitive situation. And it was probably hard to go back there. I don't remember that part, but going from Japan and Tokyo and the modern thing, going back to Vietnam for a few more months was pretty tough. But every day was a little bit better in Cam Bay because they kept doing more stuff and building things for us. But we'll talk again, do another episode here pretty soon. Thanks for watching. Checking out. Bye-bye.